Good morning to all of you. In today's lecture, we are going to see a problem on spur gear. We'll read the statement. In a spur gear arrangement, a pinion made of cast steel is rotating at 900 RPM. Okay, the RPM of the pinion is given. Therefore, N1 is 900 RPM. And after that, and is driving a cast iron gear at 150 RPM. Therefore, N2 is given, it is 150 RPM. The teeth are to have standard 20-degree stub involute profile. Therefore, he has given the angle alpha. Alpha is equal to 20-degree stub involute profile, and the maximum power to be transmitted is 25 kilowatt. Therefore, P is given as 25 kilowatt. Determine the module. You need to calculate the module in this. And face width. You need to calculate the face width. It is denoted by B. Find the dynamic and wear load. You need to find out the dynamic load FD and wear load. It is denoted by FW. The pinion has 16 teeth. Means Z1 is given. Z1 is 16 with surface hardness of 250 BHN. Drenal hardness number is 250 for the pinion. I have noted on that. Take static stress for pinion at 103 megapascal. That is sigma D. For pinion, I will take it as sigma D1. It is 103 megapascal or Newton per mm square. And for gear, it is given as 55 megapascal. Gear means I will take it as sigma D2. Assume E1. Okay, Young's modulus. Okay, he has given 96 giga Newton per meter square. Newton per meter square is nothing but Pascal. That is, this is the giga Pascal. Okay, and when you're going to substitute this in the equation, it should be in Newton per mm square. That's why this will be 96 into 10 raised to 3 megapascal or Newton per mm square. Similarly, this will be 207 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per mm square. Therefore, this will be 207 into 10 raised to 3 megapascal, or you can write it as Newton per mm square. And this will be 96 into 10 raised to 3. Okay, first he has asked to calculate the module. Okay, to calculate the module, we'll go step by step. First is from the given data, N1 and N2 is given. Therefore, we can find out the value of I. Okay, that is the speed ratio formula. I is equal to N1 by N2. Substitute the values. N1 is given, it is 900 RPM divided by N2. N2 is 150 RPM. Substitute that. 900 by 150 is nothing but 6. Okay, this is one formula. Okay, we know that speed ratio I is equal to, it is N1 by N2 is equal to T2 by T1 is equal to Z2 by Z1. That is number of teeth on gear divided by number of teeth on pinion. Okay, I can use this to find out the number of teeth on the gear. On the pinion, it is given, it is 16, and I calculated the speed ratio. It is I is calculated as 6. Substitute both the values. Therefore, Z2 is equal to I is 6 into Z1 is 16. Okay, 6 into 16, you will get it as 96 teeth. Okay, Z2 is calculated as 96 teeth. After that, you need to identify which is weaker. Okay. Further designing will be done on the weaker member. Okay. Therefore, identification of the weaker part or weaker member, whether the pinion is weaker or gear. Okay. And here in the given data, alpha is given, it is 20-degree stub involute profile. Okay. According to that, you need to refer the data and book. Okay. I'm referring Bulgarity data and book. Okay. From the given alpha angle, okay, I will be using equation 12.56. Okay, it is there in page number 204. Okay, use this equation. You need to find out the value of y1, that is Levy's form factor. This equation, whatever I have written, it is Levy's form factor equation. You need to find out for pinion as well as for gear. Okay, first I will find out for pinion. Therefore, at that you need to substitute the formula as y1 is equal to, therefore y1 is equal to 0.175 minus 0.95 divided by, it will be Z1. When you're going to find out Levy's form factor for pinion, it will be Z1. Now substitute the value of Z1. Okay, that Z1 is given how much is the Z1 value? It is given as 16. Substitute that value divided by 16. Okay, from this y1, I'm going to get it as 0.1156. Similarly, you need to calculate the Levy's form factor for gear. It will be 0.175 minus 0.95 divided by Z2. Okay, Z2 just now calculated, it is 96. Substitute that value 96. Therefore, after calculating the value, the value is 0.1651. Okay. Now, next is you need to find out which is weaker and which is stronger. Okay. How to find out that? Therefore, to find out this, you have a formula, that is sigma d into y. Okay. To find out for pinion, you will substitute it as sigma d1 into y1. Okay. Sigma d1 is already given. It is 103 megapascal. 103 into y1, it is calculated. It is 0.1156. Multiplying this, you will get it as 11.91 megapascal. Similarly calculated for gear, it will be sigma d2. Okay, sigma d2 into y2. Sigma d2 is given, it is 55 into y2 is calculated is 0.1651. Okay, multiply both the term. After multiplying that, you're going to get 9.08 megapascal. Okay. Now compare both the values. For pinion, you are getting it as 11.91, whereas for gear, you are getting it as 9.08. Okay, means in this case, as sigma d1 y1 is greater than sigma d2 y2. This 11.91 is greater than 9.08. Okay, means here pinion is stronger, whereas gear is weaker. Okay, whatever the further design is there, Okay, that further design is based on the gear. In this case, gear is weaker. Further, the designing we are going to do for the gear. Further design will be done on the gear. Okay. First, he has asked us to calculate the model. Okay. We know the equation to calculate the model. Okay. This is the equation. Okay. In Bulbarity data and book, this equation is 12.5b is there in page number 204. Okay, I'm going to take this. In this case, MT, that is the torque, you need to calculate that. And similarly, K value, okay, it is not given, you need to assume that. Similarly, CV value, okay, initially we will assume that. Okay, I will tell you how you need to do this. After that, next is capital Y. Okay, capital Y, already we have calculated the Lewis form factor. Therefore, this capital Y is nothing but pi into Lewis form factor. That is, we are designing it for the weaker member. That is, we have to substitute the value of Y2. Okay, let me first calculate the torque. Okay, to calculate the torque, you have this equation. P is equal to 2 pi n into torque MT. In this case, if the speed is in RPM, you have to divide it by 60. If the speed is given in RPS, there is no need of dividing it by 60. Okay. In our case, the RPM is given in the N value is given in RPM. Okay. That's why I'm dividing it by 60. Okay. For P is equal to 2 pi N2. N2 is 150. P is also given. Okay. It is 25 into 10 raised to 3. N is also given. It is in RPM 150. And MT is unknown. This is one. Or you can use one more formula. P is equal to 2 pi N2 into MT. In this case, N2 should be in RPS. Okay, then only you can use this equation. Otherwise, you have to use this. Okay, to convert this in meters per second. Okay, I have divided it by 60. Okay, now after calculating the value, the MT, okay, we are going to obtain it as 191.55 Newton meter. Okay, the remaining are in mm. Better to convert this in Newton mm. Okay, as we know that 1 meter is nothing but 10 raised to 3 mm. Okay, multiply that with 10 raised to 3, it will be converted into Newton mm. Okay, as I told you, in equation 12.5b, K value is not given. You need to assume that. Okay, K is nothing but B by M. Okay, in equation 2.5b, below this they have given this formula, all these formulas K and Y. Okay, you can take down from that. K is nothing but B by M. We are going to assume it as 10. Similarly, whatever this CV is there, CV is nothing but velocity factor. Velocity factor, I am going to assume velocity factor as 0.5. In further step, I will tell you. And we know that capital Y is equal to pi into Y2. As the design is based on the weaker member, that is gear. That's why I will take it as Y2. If you are going to design for the pinion, that is, in some of the cases, you might get where the pinion is weaker. At that time, you have to substitute as pi Y1. Don't substitute as Y2. Here we are designing it for weaker member. That's why I've taken it as Y2. Okay. Y2 value is 0.1651, which is calculated. Okay. Substitute the y2 value. After substituting this, the y we will get it as 0.16515. Okay, now substitute all these values in the above equation, that is 12.5b is there in page number 204. You're going to get the module. Therefore, module is equal to cube root of 2 into mt. Mt is 1596, sorry, 1591.55 into 10 raised to 3 divided by sigma d. Okay, we have to take sigma d2. Why? Because you are designing it for weaker member, that is gear. Therefore, sigma d2 will be given as 55. Substitute that, it is given in the data. And the CV value, that is velocity factor, I am assumed it as a 0.5. Substitute that value, and after that, next k value, it is assumed as 10. Substitute that into y, that is capital Y. Don't confuse this with the small y, Lewis form factor. Therefore, capital Y is pi into y2. It is calculated is 0.1651 into Z2. Okay, Z2 is calculated. Therefore, Z2 value is 96. Okay. Cube root of this will be m. I am going to get it as 6.15 mm. Okay, and from the table you have to select the standard module. Okay, I will tell you which table you need to refer to calculate the standard module. Okay, you have to refer table number 12.2, okay, which is there in page number 229. Okay. From this, whatever the standard module we are going to get, okay, by seeing that after that 6, the next standard value is 8. Therefore, now our value is 6.5. I cannot take 6. Therefore, I can take module as 8. Okay, he has asked us to calculate the module. Okay, therefore, I have calculated the module. It is 8 mm. After finding the module, next is you need to find out the face width. Okay, find out the face width. First you need to find out the pitch circle diameter of pinion. Okay, pitch circle diameter of pinion as well as gear. From module formula, that is which is there in your data book, module is equal to, it is the ratio of circle diameter divided by number of teeth. If you are taking for a pinion, you have to write it as D1 Z1. If you are taking it for a gear, it will be D2 Z. Okay, this equation is there in the data and book. It is 12.1 E. Okay, in this case I need to find out this pitch circle diameter of the pinion. Okay, substitute the module, it is calculated as 8, and Z1 is given, it is 60. Therefore, E1 is equal to 8 into 60. From this, the value will be 128 mm. Similarly, use the equation 12.1 E. From this, D2 will be, it will be m into Z2. M is 8 into Z2. Z2 is given as, or we have calculated is 96. Okay, after multiplying this, it is 768 mm. Okay, after that, next, here you can see that we are assumed k is equal to b by m. That is, k is nothing but b by m, which is given in 12.5b equation. I have assumed it as 10. Therefore, e by m is equal to 10. Therefore, P is nothing but 10 into module. Okay, take this to the right hand side. Module is 8. Therefore, P value will be 80 mm. Okay, here you can see that. He has asked us to calculate the module phase width we have calculated. Next is to find out the dynamic load and wear load. Next step is to calculate the dynamic as well as wear load. Okay. Now, before calculating this, whatever the velocity factor which you assumed, okay, whether it is correct or not, it should be satisfied. Means whatever the sigma d which you are going to get, whatever the permissible stress which you are going to get, it should be less than the permissible stress of the given data or given gear. Here you can see that since CV is assumed as 0.5, we need to check for sigma d2, that is permissible stress which you are going to obtain it for the gear. Okay, for that I can use this equation, that is ft. We know that ft is equal to pi sigma d cv into b into y into m. Okay, this is equation 12.5, equation 12.5a, equation 12.5a. Equation 12.5a, which is there in page number note 4. Okay. In this, you need to calculate the sigma d. You need to find out the permissible stress. Okay. Whereas before finding this, you need to calculate the CV value. Okay. We know that V is equal to pi d into n, pi d n. In this case, whatever the n is there, it is in RPM. That's why I divided by 60. If the n is in RPS, the formula will be V into D into n. Okay. Now we know that velocity is equal to pi T2 N2 by 60. Substitute the values. Therefore, V is equal to pi into D2, which we have calculated now. It is 768 multiplied by N2. Okay, N2 is how much? It is 150. Okay, 150 divided by 60. Okay, from this, whatever the value which you are going to get, okay, V value, okay, it will be in meters per second. Okay, the velocity will be in meters per second, whereas the T2 which you have calculated, it is 768 mm. Okay, it has to be converted into meter. Means you need to multiply that with 10 raised to minus 3. 1 mm is equal to has to be converted into meter. Therefore, 1 mm is equal to 10 raised to minus 3 meter. Therefore, to convert this D2 in meter, we'll multiply that with 10 raised to minus 3. Okay. From this, you're going to get the velocity. Okay. After calculating this, the velocity, I'm going to get it as 6 meters per second. Here, the unit of D is meter and N is revolutions per second. Therefore, it will be meters per second. Therefore, velocity I'm obtained as 6 meters per second. Next is, depending upon the velocity, you need to take down the velocity factor. Here you can see that whatever the velocity which is obtained is less than 8 meters per second. Here you have 3 to 4 formulas, that is equation 12.6 A, B, C, D. Okay. In that, according to the value of B which you obtain, you have to select the velocity factor. Okay, now here the velocity we obtained it as 6 meters per second, which is less than 8 meters per second. Means I can use this equation. Okay, this is equation is 12.6a, which is there in page number 205. Okay, I'm going to use this equation, substitute the values. CV is equal to 3.0505 divided by 3.05 plus V is calculated as 6. Okay, if you calculated it, therefore I'm going to get it as 0.337. Okay, this is the velocity factor. After finding the velocity factor, and next is you need to find out the FT. Okay, therefore FT is nothing but the tangential load. FT is equal to, it is 2mt by B. Okay, this equation is there in data book. It is 12.8a. Is there in page number 206. Okay, tangential load is equal to 2 into torque divided by D. In this case, we are designing it for weaker member, that is gear. I will write it as D2. Substitute the values. Okay, and substituting this, make sure that D2 is in mm. It is in mm only. Only for this velocity, the unit is meters per second. That's why I have converted this mm into meter. 2 into mt, it is calculated already. Substitute that 1591.55 into 10 raised to 3 divided by D2. It is 768. Okay, from this I'm going to get the value of FT. Therefore FT is equal to 4144.66 Newton. Okay, once we calculate the FT, now you can substitute that in this equation 12.5a. You are going to get the value of sigma D, that is the permissible stress of the gear, whether it is less than the given data. If it is less than that, the design is safe. It is greater than that, means it is exceeding the value. Therefore, the design will not be safe. Means whatever the velocity factor which you assume, it will be wrong. Therefore, FT is 1144.66 is equal to pi into sigma CV. Here we have calculated the value. It is 0.337 into 0.337, okay, into B. Face width, it is calculated as 80. Substitute that value into 80 multiplied by capital Y. Capital Y is nothing but Lewis form factor of gear multiplied by pi. That is pi into Y2. It is 0.1651 into module. Module is calculated as 8. From this, permissible stress we are going to get, it should be less than the permissible stress of the gear. Calculation, I'm going to get it as 37 megapascal, which is less than the given data, that is permissible stress of the gear. Here you can see that whatever the permissible stress of the gear is there, okay, permissible stress of the gear sigma d2 is given as 55, whereas whatever the value I am calculated, okay, its value is 37, which is less than the permissible stress. Okay, as a result of that, you can see that is 37 megapascal, which is less than 55 megapascal. Okay, means whatever the calculated values are there, which are less than the permissible value. Therefore, the assumption, whatever the assumptions we have done, it is correct and it is satisfactory, or the design is safe. For that, he has asked us to calculate, okay, to calculate the dynamic tooth load, that is FT, and after that you need to calculate the wear load. Okay, how to calculate the dynamic tooth load or dynamic load? They have a equation for that. Therefore, the dynamic tooth load equation FD is equal to FD plus, this is the equation which is there in your data book, is 12.12, okay, which is there in page number 207. Equation 12.12, which is there in page number 207. Okay, and in this equation, FT already we have calculated the tangential load. You can substitute that. Below this equation, they are given the K3 value. Okay, the K3 value, K3 is equal to is 20.67, which is given, and whatever the velocity is there. Okay, a velocity is 6 meters per second. We have calculated that. Okay, and we need to refer the table. Okay, from the table we need to find out the error. Okay, which table we need to refer to find out the error? Okay, from table number 12.14. On this table number, this is table 12.14. From table number 12.14, which is there in page number 37. From this, for velocity more than 6, okay, 6 and more, the error we will take it as 0.0590, which is there in the table 12.4. From that, I have noted down this error. Okay, once we note down the error, after that, next we need to calculate the dynamic factor. Whatever the C you are seeing, it is nothing but the dynamic factor. Therefore, to calculate the dynamic factor, we have a formula. Dynamic factor is equal to C is equal to E divided by K1 in bracket 1 divided by E1 plus 1 divided by E2. Okay, this is there in the data handbook. It is below this equation, that is 12.12, which is there in 207. Okay, below this only we have this equation. Already I have calculated the value of E. Next is I need to calculate the value of K1. Okay, and that K1 value is 8.7. Therefore, E value, it is calculated, substitute that, it is 0.050 divided by K1, it is 8.7, and next E1 and E2. Okay, you see the given data. Here you can see that the value of assume E1 and E2, both the values are given. Okay, from that I'm going to substitute that in this equation. E1 and E2 values, I'm going to substitute that divided by E1. E1 value is 96. It is given as gigapascal, that is giganewton per meter square. It has to be converted into megapascal. I told you that it will be 96 into 10 raised to 3 plus 1 divided by E2. E2 value is given as 207, is given as 207 gigapascal. Convert that into megapascal, it will be 207 into 10 raised to 3. From this, we are going to get the value of C. After calculation, it will be 444.77 Newton per mm. Okay. After calculating all these values, I'm going to substitute that in equation 12.12. So substitute all the values. Therefore, FD is equal to, substitute all the values in this equation. Therefore, FD will be equal to, FD is equal to FD. Already the value is calculated. The FD value is 4144.66 plus K3. The value is 20.67 multiplied by V. Velocity it is 6 in bracket. C value 444.77 into B, it is calculated as 80 plus FT, it is 4144.66. Okay. Similarly, substitute the below values here. Substitute the below values. It is K3 into V. K3 is 20.67 into V plus root of C is 444.77 into B, it is 80 plus FT value. For this, you calculate the value of FT. Okay, calculate the value of FT. I'm going to get, after the calculation, I will be getting the value calculation. The FT value will be 19.38 kilonewton. 19.38 kilonewton. This is all. You need to find out the dynamic load. After that, next I need to calculate the wear load. Okay. Already the equation is there to calculate the wear load. Okay. I'm going to use that equation. Here we can see that. Wear load equation, F is equal to, FW is equal to D1B Q into K. Okay. This equation is there in the data handbook. The values. Okay, this equation is 12.15A, which is there in 208. Okay. In that already we have calculated the value of D1. Okay, it is 128 mm. B is also calculated. Q and K value we need to calculate that. Okay, how to calculate that Q and K? Okay, I will show that how to calculate the K value. Therefore, K is equal to, it is sigma ES square into sine alpha 4 in bracket is 1 divided by E1 plus 1 divided by E2. Okay. In this alpha is angle is given, it is 20 degree. Sigma ES you need to calculate. E1, E2 already the values are given. One is 96 into 10 raised to 3, other one E2 is 207 into 10 raised to 3. Okay. Just I need to calculate this sigma ES. Okay. How to calculate that value, I will show that. This sigma ES, okay, as the given pinion material is cast iron, and they have mentioned the Brinell hardness number, it is 250, and the other gear is given as cast iron, okay, gray, and its Brinell hardness number is 180. Okay, from this I can use this table 12.16, which is there in data and book page number 239. From that, the surface endurance limit, which I'm going to get it as 617.8 megapascal. From referring the hardness number of cast iron pinion, it is 250, and gray cast iron of the gear, it is 180. From that, referring table 12.16, page number 239. From that, I am going to get the surface endurance limit as 617.8. Okay, substitute that in this above equation. Substitute the values of surface endurance limit. Alpha is 20, and E1 it is given 96 into 10 raised to 3. E2 is 207 into 10 raised to 3. After substituting all the values, the K value I'm going to get it as 1.42. Okay, and after that, in this equation, the other unknown is Q. Okay, how to calculate that Q? It is there in the equation. Q is equal to 2 times D2 divided by D2 plus D1. This is one equation, and in front of that only they have given one more equation. Either you can use this 2 times Z2, that is number of teeth on gear, divided by Z2 plus Z1. This is equation 12.15 C, which is there in page number 208. Okay, use this equation. Either you use the first one, second one. In this case, it is 2 into D2 value is 96 divided by D1, D2. Both the values are calculated. Okay, sorry, I'll be using this second one, 2 into Z2. Number of teeth on the gear is 96 divided by Z2. It is 96 plus Z1 is given. It is 16. Therefore, the Q value, which I am going to obtain it as 1.714. Okay. After knowing all these values, therefore, the wear load. Therefore, wear load is equal to, substitute that in this equation, D1. It is 128 multiplied by face width. This calculate is 80. 80 into Q value. Q value just now I calculated is 1.714 multiplied by K. K value is calculated is 1.42. 1.42. Therefore, the wear load which will be obtained after calculating this, it will be 24.92 kilonewton. This is the wear load. It is Newton, kilonewton. This is 24.92 kilonewton. Always the wear load should be greater than the dynamic load, dynamic tooth load. Then only the design will be safe. Here you can see that. Okay, it is for the safe wear against the wear. For safety against the wear, always the wear load should be greater than the dynamic tooth load. Here in our case, it is 24.92 kilonewton. It is greater than 19.38. That is the dynamic load, dynamic tooth load. It is 19.38. Therefore, the material is safe against the wear. Therefore, we can tell that whatever the designing is done, design is safe. This is how we need to calculate the wear load, dynamic load, M and phase speed. If this question is asked in the exam, the weightage will be 16 to 20 marks. Okay, thank you.